With its beauty and fragrance unmatched, a rose is one of America's most beloved blooms. In fact, it is the favorite flower of 85% of Americans. Each year, there are 150 million rose plants purchased by gardeners worldwide. Now, while some believe roses need tender, loving care, we're going to show how you can grow and enjoy a beautiful rose garden. Joining us today is Bayer Advanced Rose Care expert and author of Rose Care for Dummies, Lance Walheim. Welcome, Lance.
Thanks, Marilyn. I brought you a rose.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You know, Lance, as a mother, I love getting roses on Mother's Day. And of course, who doesn't enjoy getting a dozen on Valentine's Day? What makes roses so popular?
Well, to many people, they symbolize love. That's why you got the great bouquets for Valentine's Day and Mother's Day. But it certainly has to do with the beauty of the flower. I mean, the perfectly formed buds, the way the petals unfurl. I mean, it's nature at its most beautiful. And of course, it's about the fragrance. I mean, how many people can walk by a rose without sticking their nose in it? I mean, it's just natural. The fragrance is wonderful. You know, roses, we've had a love affair for roses for centuries. Cleopatra used to scatter the petals in her palace when she was entertaining guests. She used rose water as perfume. And how do we start every new year? We have a rose parade. So it's ingrained in our psyche.
So tell us, how can we put roses into our gardens?
Well, you know, roses are the perfect example of a plant that works so great in an outdoor living area, because especially when we have the new varieties like the knockout roses, these stay in bloom all year long. They're easy to care for, so they're great, they're perfect. The other thing you want to do when you're using roses in the landscape or in any kind of outdoor living area, you want to make sure you have a color theme. These are very colorful plants, so you want to maybe use other plants that have a similar color or contrasting color, but just don't go into a nursery and pick the colors willy-nilly, because you're going to end up with something that doesn't look that great. Other things I recommend are use plants that have great foliage texture. We're going to plant some of these ornamental grasses among the knockout roses here, and I love those because they give you great texture, and they're kind of the opposite of the roses, where the roses are round, you get great flowers, and they bloom in the same time. In the fall, the ornamental grasses just look great. So think carefully about your colors, choose your combination plants carefully, and you can't lose.
Okay, Lance, so we've done our homework. We found out what roses grow great in our soil. We've selected their colors, and I guess let's get started.
Right, okay, the first thing, you want to plant in full sun. Roses need 6 to 8 hours of full sun every day. You don't give them enough sun, you're going to have disease problems, and you're not going to have as many blooms. Roses need regular water. In most areas, you're going to need to water them, a good deep watering at least once a week. In the hotter areas of the country, you're going to have to do it twice a week. You know, give them a good layer of mulch so you can conserve moisture and also reduce weeds. Roses are heavy feeders. They need to be fertilized on a regular basis. I recommend about every 4 to 6 weeks. That way you're going to get that continuous flush of bloom. You're also going to prune regularly. Pruning is very important. It intimidates most people, but you're often better off doing something than nothing. So get a good rose book or go to a website for the Rose Society and get some information. Bayer Advanced has a lot of information on roses. And then last but not least is you want to protect your plants from insects and diseases. And that's never been easier. We have Bayer Advanced all-in-one rose and flower care. You don't have to spray. It controls insects and diseases for up to 6 weeks and fertilizes at the same time. And we also have other products for whatever kind of problems you have with your roses, we can take care of it.
So Lance, I've heard roses are hard to grow. What's changed?
Well, we've got the great new landscape varieties like the knockout roses. They're just flower machines all summer long, and they have great disease resistance, so they're easy to care for. Also, we got great new products like Bayer Advanced all-in-one rose and flower care. Nothing could be easier to use. We've also got a new granular form that you just sprinkle at the base of the plant and then water it in. So what could be easier?
So I guess it's really not that complicated. A rose is just a rose.
That's right, Marilyn. It's all about getting the great new varieties that are easy to care for. And Bayer Advanced has a great line of rose care products. Another great product is Bayer Advanced 3-in-1 insect disease and mite control. If you live in a hot climate, you're going to have problems with mites on your roses and maybe some of your other ornamentals. This will take care of them, and it's easy to use. But the important thing is always make sure, Marilyn, that you read the label and follow the instructions.
Absolutely, that is really important. So Lance, is there any other advice you can give us on growing roses?
Well, no matter how much you talk about it, it's always good to see somebody do something in person. And we've got some great how-to videos on BayerAdvanced.com on how to care for roses and other plants, so that's a great place to go.
And Lance, where can we find the products that we've talked about today to grow a spectacular rose garden?
You can find them in Home Depots across the country. Just go into the store, talk to a store associate, and they'll tell you which ones are right for you. It's going to be simple.
So Home Depot nationwide. Love it. Thanks, Lance, for showing us how fun and easy it is to grow roses.
My pleasure. Thank you.